Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you all doing? And welcome to yet another vlog. My name is Salwa, and I post a couple of different things on this channel. So, today you're going to join me all as I study. So, Alhamdulillah, in June, I started my master's program, my postgraduate program. It's something I think I've wanted to do like for a very long time. But then, for everything, you actually just say Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, life happened. I got married, had a child, and I do realize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's timing is like the best thing ever. So, join me. My classes are in the evening, so it means after work. I have to get home as fast as I can or wherever I'm going to study from and just get started on studying. First thing I will emphasize, please don't study on an empty stomach, especially if you've been working like from morning. So first things first, a snack on the side. But also, since I do realize that even with class, I still remain someone's wife and someone's mom, so I have to get dinner started. Now, please tell me why I did not remember to defrost this beef early in the morning, and now I had to deal with it in the evening before classes begin. But Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, it was a quick and easy one. Just put it in a very nice steel pan, pour some water, and within like about 45 minutes, it will defrost. But then immediately, because all I had was just 3 minutes to actually get started with class. And so class begins now. One thing about me is I do understand the dynamics that I am in as okay, as someone who does very many different things at the same time. But at the same time, I try to give each and everything its own time. So it means if it's time for class, I want to be settled, I want to be listening to the lecture, I want to give examples, I want to contribute in class, because for me all these things are very important, and I am one of those people who learn by just constantly being involved in something. It means if I'm listening to the lecturer teach, if I'm listening to my fellow students like give contributions in class, I'm actually going to be able to learn as much as I can in the very short period of time, which would not be the same if I was just listening in, like not exactly listening in, if I was just watching like an audio, no, watching, if I was just watching like a recorded lecture or something. So it means I have to take my time. I sit down, I write the notes as much as I can. It's a very tedious process, especially if you're not used to it. But I do appreciate it. I do understand that this is my process. And Alhamdulillah, I take it as it comes. So I'm still in my very first semester of my very first year. The master's program I'm doing takes 2 years, 1 year for basically classes, theoretical classes, and then the second year is when you do your dissertation. Oh no, it's when you do like your master's thesis, your research basically. So much as the it's 2 years, you have to maximize as much as you can. It means every class means so much. And one thing about this kind of education you do like after your undergrad, at least in my experience, is that I think it's more meaningful, it's more purposeful. You're kind of figuring out what you want to do more in your life, and you're trying to get like better direction, which means you give it your all, you give it your concentration, you give it your time, you make meaningful friends, you discuss as much as you can, you do your research as much as you can. You just don't take it to for granted, because it's like a definition. I know like you can always reinvent yourself as time goes on, but you have to give it your all for as much as you can. So, this is me attending class, listening in. I contribute where the chance comes in. I listen in because I know this is just very important for me. Now, there's something I have to explain before I go on, because you see me switching pens between blue and black. The kind of person I am when it comes to writing things down, I will notice the headings better if they're in black. I will notice the notes better if they're in blue. And I always highlight every single time whenever I can, especially for the headings. And I'll come in with like a sticky note later on to just make sure I remember, oh, so especially for the examples, oh, this is what the lecturer meant, oh, this is what doc meant, this is what professor meant. That is how I usually learn my things. And the process I used to use when I was still at in undergrad was I listen in for the class. I used to attend physical classes. When the classes are done, I move to the library and read a little bit more. Or sometimes I would watch like YouTube videos of the different concepts and get to write down and understand them better and break them down. This is my process. I don't know if it works for everyone else, and it may not exactly work for everyone else, but this is how I usually handle anything to do with academics. The other thing I think I also have to just talk about is how I plan for my studies. Since I got to know about bullet journaling when I was, I think it was 2020, mid 2020, during the global pandemic when we were all home, and I started watching a lot of YouTube, just immersing myself in the experience. And that's when I learned about journaling, like bullet journaling specifically, how to create your own planners. And then I didn't know that it's the kind of direction I really wanted to do. Okay, wanted to take in as far as planning for my life goes. Before I used to just write down, oh, I want to achieve this at the end of the year. I want to achieve this in 2 months or something. But then with bullet journaling, it became more purposeful, it became more intentional. I started structuring my goals better, knowing what I wanted to do, and then actually going for it. And then in that, I actually started planning for school better. I started understanding, okay, this is what I'm going to study for this semester. These are the grades I want to get in this particular course unit. And writing down the topics, being able to track, oh, I'm done with this course unit, I'm done with this topic, and I'm going on to this one. Okay, how well do I know this topic? I repeat, it is a very tedious process that may not be able to work for every person, but as an individual, that is something that just worked perfectly for me. I was able to break down my course units in very um understandable formats. I would be able to understand, okay, I've read this topic, I've covered it, I'm not going to do that again. I will revise it towards exams. And on top of that, it was minus just that, discussions. Discussions have always been like a very big part for me. And I feel like if I started doing YouTube when I was still doing my undergraduate degree, there would be so much content that was just in the library or having discussions with my friends, because that was something that was very, very key for me. I think somewhere on my Instagram, I have a clip of just us having like a discussion or something. But for me, that being able to talk to people, because I feel like the more I hear my peers talk about something, or the more I explain something to my peers, the more I understand it, the more I comprehend it, the more I'm able to apply it. And with discussions, you get to hear other people's experiences about a particular concept. You find an easier way of explaining it, and I feel like that flows better when you're doing an examination where you have to kind of like elaborate and explain any kind of point you're giving. So that is something I found very, very helpful. Now, for this program I'm doing, it is basically predominantly online. I don't think there is even anything physical about it. Probably when I'm defending my proposal or something. Other than that, everything is done online, including the examinations. Now, while you're doing the examinations, you also don't want to be caught off guard where you've never heard of a concept and you're seeing it for the first time in a question paper. So that's where my advice would actually work for those of you who actually feel like it's something you would want. That the more you attend classes, the more you listen in, the more you hear what is being said, the examples and everything. Even when you're doing your online examination, everything just flows. You're understanding concepts, you're hearing things, you know you're not going to spend like an hour just executing a number, yet you actually properly understand it. So that is just for those of you who feel like it works for you. So this class usually goes from 5:30 to around 8:30 p.m. I don't even know how many hours those are. I don't think I've ever tried counting that. But anyway, that's how long I spend in class on some evenings within the week. So it means find a comfortable place, sit down. If you have to eat, snack as you listen in, drink, do whatever it makes you comfortable as long as you feel like you're still getting value for your money. And yes, now someone would ask, oh no, why didn't you go to like any other university? Why Victoria University? So, as an individual, I do understand that there are different things I have to put into consideration for school. Gone are the days where just the few like major universities in Uganda were the biggest deal. So you have to find a university that works for you, a university that does what you feel like is compatible with your life. Because I wear too many hats. I am a mom, I am a wife, I am someone's employee, and now I am a student. So finding the balance in all that. Meanwhile, the beef ngate isn't it refusing to defrost as fast as I wanted it. So the next thing was just to put it on heat so that it actually just does its thing, because I don't want to be caught in a situation where my husband gets back and I don't know, he doesn't have like much to work with. As I said, no, wait, as I'm going to say, in the video, I, much as he's very helpful, you also don't want to exhaust him too much because we are both working parents. You don't need both parents to be very exhausted. So, had to put that on and then get back to class. That is the point of being in a class that is very lengthy. Is that, yeah, you're going to take your minor breaks, but you just make sure you're able to manage them. There are those breaks we are given in class, uh, especially like at around 6 going to 7. You can have like 10 minutes or 20 minutes off and then get back to classes like much later. So whenever you get the break, you do everything you feel like you need to do as fast as you can before you get back to class, especially if you're the kind of person who wants to be very, very present in every single class. So should you have any questions, I don't know if you have any questions about like school life, balancing it, I can do an entire video of just study tips that worked for me during undergraduate level. And you see what you want, you pick out what you don't want, please ignore. It's not actually by force, but yes, while I share this journey, I appreciate any kind of advice that you might have, any tips that you feel like work for you. For those of you who have been through like this same journey, like the way I am. Wait, is that right? Is that correct English? Not so sure. Whoever's been through like this kind of journey, just let me know what worked for you, what you feel like I should take as advice or something like that. Fun fact, I already know what I want to wear for graduation. While graduating with my master's, I think I already know what I want to wear on that very day. And every single time I feel like, nah, today I don't feel like attending class. I am so tired. I'm so exhausted. I just want to go to bed. I just want to sleep. I don't feel like revising. I remember how good that outfit is. And that encourages me to just go back and read, to just study, to just get very busy. But Alhamdulillah, I also want to acknowledge that I have a very great support system around me. My husband, very supportive, very supportive. Like, may Allah make everything in his life very easy because he's a very supportive person. My little boy, yeah, somehow supportive. Occasionally, like screaming or something, but still, the kind of peace he gives me just makes me feel like I can do anything. And then my friends and my family, yo, I don't think I don't think with that kind of support system anything can ever fail. I feel like anything I put my mind to is very achievable because of that. So Alhamdulillah, I do not take it for granted. I am just constantly thankful. So while class continues, the next thing to do is to peel the potatoes. So the plan is to have Irish potatoes and some beef for dinner. But as I am a very, I don't know, good team player, I had to make sure that I peel the Irish before my husband gets back. So the potatoes I'm using are usually the ones that people use to make fries. Like, okay, those ones that are big and well structured and all that. So nembukwata nembuwata wata bulungi nyao. Maikati, this is why you see, I am able to do multitasking. Yes, I can multitask. Mpata kamonde, ngoba degree, I'm chasing the bag. Alhamdulillah. I'm really well rounded. So now sitting nebiyintama nensalawo nyimuke buyimu sinkawatenga kamonde nkawatenga nyimiridde kubanga honestly I'm not about to get muscle pulls while peeling. And then after peeling the Irish, next thing are the veggies that I'm going to put inside: onions, tomatoes, green pepper, and some garlic. Because no matter what you're going through in life, try to have some flavor. Musawani. You can't be suffering, you know, in your everyday life, and then you can't, eat some flavor. So tewerumya nnyo, kwata kachumbari, kwata curry powder, teka mu mmere, eat, please, because life no be balanced, my friend. So treat yourself as good as you need to. So first of all, another disclaimer by the way, ngasinera the way you see me with my knife here, guys, I'm not a skilled person when it comes to holding knives. However, I assessed the risks. Manyi nti omanyi kati tekagenda kunsala kano nkamanyi. Please don't copy me. Only do what you can manage. Thank you. So, while off camera, I was able to copy the notes I had like skipped out on, just like the few stuff I didn't get to write while class was still going on. And currently we are on a break. It's like a 10-minute break, so I used that time to just get my notes done because I don't know, for me I found it like very important since I finished like since I did my undergraduate from UCU. I found it very important to actually always have like proper notes. So if it means that I have to take like a bit more time like doing everything right, I don't really mind that because for me this is very important. This is something I actually want to do, and so I have to make sure my notes are clean and proper. So this is what we have right now. Do you even see it? Let me show you properly. Yes, so these are my notes right now for the day. We are still on break. I think it's like 2 more minutes. So I don't know if during those 2 more minutes I can actually finish chopping up the veggies before class actually resumes, because we are now going to another topic and I definitely don't want to miss that. It's about like resistance of change or something like that. And my husband is on the way. So, because I know I mentioned earlier that he's very willing to actually help me, like, okay, not help me. He's very willing to chop up the veggies and everything, but sometimes since when I'm studying, he takes over like with our son to get him fed, to clean him up and everything, and prepare him for bed. So I kind of try to make sure he is also not doing so much in that, like in as far as housework is concerned, that he just concentrates on actually like the baby. So it means if I have to peel, if I have to defrost or like boil something earlier on, that is just a fragment of just how we kind of like coordinate as a couple. So those are like, that's a balance we kind of found for ourselves like recently. And I think the one thing like the one takeaway for me is, for anyone, I think if you're in any kind of partnership with your person and you have to go through a particular kind of change, it is important to have a conversation about it, to plan ahead about it. Not just because sometimes you set like unrealistic expectations. I remember when I was applying for school, I thought that school was going to be physical, that every evening after school I would actually have to go physically and study. But Alhamdulillah, I am happy that the university I chose has actually an online program. But that means
I have like my shortfalls as the kind of person I was who usually used to come back and do a lot of housework. I end up having to come back and just concentrate on the books. So it means whatever little thing I can do in the kitchen or around the house, I make sure I do it as fast as possible so that my husband doesn't have to deal with so much during that time, because I also enjoy doing it. So currently the meat is still boiling because I want it to be like very, very soft. The potatoes, as you saw, I peeled and cleaned them. The veggies, I haven't yet chopped them up, and right now I have like 1 more minute for class to start. And I think I'm just going to concentrate on class, and my husband will help like with everything else in the kitchen. So I don't know, did I already mention the program I'm doing? I think I'll do that in a voiceover as I go through the video. But this is ideally what I do every evening. I don't think I'm going to continue like much of the vlog. I don't know if I do, don't hold it against me, but if I don't, also don't hold it against me. Still figuring something out. So I'm just going to get into class for as long as I can. If I keep recording, well and good. So forgive me in advance if I stop right here. But in case I continue, well, aren't you lucky? Um, but as I was explaining earlier, this is the kind of person I am. I like my notes. I like my books like very organized. I like my stuff color coded, because for me this kind of helps me like understand things. And so any chance I get to attend class, trust me, I'm going to attend class. I don't care if I'm in a car like coming home. I don't care if I am nursing my child at the same time. I'm going to make sure I attend class. And that is, I think, and also that comes with a lot of privilege that I'm very thankful for, Alhamdulillah. And I'm just hoping that this journey like goes like as well as possible. I remember earlier on I kind of like had this entire thing about, should I discuss Bagamenti Soma Manaka Evo I was so afraid of so many things, but then I kind of understood that, you know what, it is okay to share parts of my life that I thought I wasn't comfortable with, the school thing, because I was worried, what if it doesn't go well? What if I end up getting rejects? Fine, it's part of life. Because I do believe this is not meant to be perfect. I'm not supposed to be picture perfect every time, because I'm trying to show you the real me, the parts of me that I'm comfortable sharing. And if I keep like keeping some stuff away and trying to show only perfection, it's also not okay. So let me introduce myself one more time. My name is Salwa. I am a master's student. I'm studying at Victoria University, and I'm doing my master's in human resource. I know, right? I am a mother and I am a wife to one man, a mother to one child. And that child belongs to that man that I'm married to. I know, like, it's so important to like emphasize that before, you know, it gets that. But this is me. I currently work in admin stroke HR. And yes, I have an 8 to 5. It's not even 9 to 5, it's an 8 to 5. And after work, I always have my evening classes for class. This class is like run for a period of time within the week. And while doing all that, I still want to be able to do everything else in my life. Not exactly perfectly, but to the best that I can. Oh my god, my hands are becoming ashy. Hold up. Because I refuse to have hands that look like, and I just dug up like what? Yums. Anyway, so that is basically me. I don't know how many times I'm going to keep introducing myself, but I will introduce myself as many times as possible, because you're my people. So kind of deal with that. Anyway, Kali, this entire time I've taken, I could have chopped vegetables, but I don't need to do that. Class is still off. It's now 4 minutes past the time we were supposed to actually resume class. I do believe probably the lecturer is a little bit busy, which works for me. I can talk. I say this once again, if you have any ideas or anything you would want me to talk about in any of my videos, you can let me know in the comment section, or you can reach out to me on Instagram. I use the same names, and also on TikTok I use the same names. Just let me know what you want to see more of. Do you want to see more of the cooking? Do you want to see a morning routine, study, whatever it is? As long as I'm comfortable showing it, I will show you. If I'm not comfortable, I will not show it. So, yeah, I keep looking here because I think class is going to, and then it doesn't start. It's something. That is something. And while we're at this, I did my undergraduate from Uganda Christian University. I have a bachelor's degree in social work and social administration. Yes, class of 2022. Half COVID, no wait, half pandemic, half normal life. So that is me. I think that's a brief about my education background. Mm. Okay, at least the relevant facts. I'm not going to be talking about my high school and no, not on this video. Perhaps in a different video. Yes. Let me get back to class by the way. And now class is complete. I can my son chooses to differ. And then as you can see, no electricity. And yes, husband is helping with dinner while everything closes out. I'll just show you what he's making afterwards. I think I already talked about it, what we are going to have for dinner, but I'll still show you what his chefing skills comes up with. So thank you for being part of this vlog. See, I'm even using a power bank to light up the house. UEDCL, by the way. Like, this is the light setup. Power bank with a flashlight, lamp there, and then a crescent lamp in the kitchen. So this is it. And this is the final outcome. This is dinner, mashed potatoes with some beef. Hi, chef. Say hi. So, finally, by the way, electricity is back, as you can see. And then I can finally say good night. Thank you so much for watching the vlog. I'll see you in my next video. Ta-ta. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.